There you go. We are recording. Awesome. Well, Renee, thanks for joining today. I wanted to really quickly introduce who I am, talk about the Vaqueros, and get into the subject that we're going to be talking about today for the parents of the Forward Vaqueros Youth Club. But before that, I love that you're wearing one of the old school jerseys. That's one of the first ones from maybe 2013, 14, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it goes way back.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and I've got the current one here on the background, which is the jersey that the youth club wears with the great looking Zadeh Firm attorneys right there on the front. So, just kind of starting off for everyone watching that doesn't know who I am. My name is Anthony Harris. I'm the general manager of the Fort Worth Vaqueros football club, which is the Fort Worth-based semi-pro team. We started out as a semi-pro team, but as many watching now know, we have a youth club. We also have an academy, and we've got a lot of things on the horizon too. So we've got some other things on the horizon that hopefully we can share with everyone soon. But I am the general manager of the overall club, and on the call here, I have Rene Mercado from Zadeh Firm Attorneys. Rene you can tell us a little bit about who you are in a second, but you're basically representing Zadeh Firm today. So just tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll get into some other topics.
Yeah, first off, thank you for inviting me. I feel very privileged to be able to talk to not only you, but everybody who's going to be watching this video. I really appreciate it. This particular subject really hits home for me because Jim and we go way back. I mean, he was my soccer coach at the age of 14. And I come from Dallas. I come from Oak Cliff. If anybody is familiar with Oak Cliff, it's very well known that that is not an area that's filled with money. So I come from that area. Jim, his team was in Fort Worth. I was privileged to be able to play for him. But to be honest, the only way that I was able to play for him was scholarships. He had a scholarship put into place, and I just so happened to be in the right place, right time, and I was fortunate enough to be able to get this scholarship, which was the only way that I was able to play for him on this team, was through this scholarship, because my mom, she was just not financially able. So this resonates with me in regards to how I even came to talk to Jim, how I even started working for Jim. This all comes back from when I was 14. Playing for him. He gave me an opportunity back then, and now as a professional, he gave me an opportunity to work for him. I've been working for him for 8 years now. But yeah, this brings a big smile to my face because I know that this is a beautiful program that Anthony and the Forward Vaqueros have put into place here to help out families very similar to mine. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the scholarships, I love that you hit that. We'll talk a little bit about that because y'all's the Zadeh Firm support is what's allowing us to provide all the financial scholarships that we are providing to the youth club kids. But tell us a little bit about you, what you do there at the firm, and then tell us a little bit about the Zadeh Firm as a whole and what they specialize in.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I've been working for Jim for 8 years now. I am essentially the intake specialist. I'm the one that everybody talks to initially just to hear about our firm, hear about our services. And essentially, I am the first one that essentially screens the calls in cases that we would be taking on. On top of that, I wear a small hat of a marketing manager. So I am on top of the content that goes put on there for the social media as well as our websites and things like that. But realistically, the big hat that I wear here for the firm is essentially just being able to talk to everybody who is inquiring on our services. And realistically, all these individuals that call us, I mean, they're in panic mode. So they're calling us needing a lot of help. And so that's kind of my strong suit. I'm able to talk to these individuals. And my approach, trained by Jim, is we got to tell these individuals that are panicking what they have to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear, right? And so that's realistically what I do. I talk to everybody who calls us. The cases that we take on I would say we absolutely specialize in are car wreck cases, which is not really I like to talk about. This is really a horrible situation when somebody comes across. I personally can relate with this. I've been in 4 accidents in the past 5 years, so I know firsthand the panic mode and everything. But nonetheless, right, we talk to all sorts of people that call our office, people that just don't know where to start. And that's really kind of the biggest value that I say that we as a firm can, bring to anybody who's hearing this video or seeing this video, or anybody who really needs our help. Um, we would be a resource of, the first contact. I know for a fact right off the back when I talk to a person, whether I can or cannot take them on as a new client, but that doesn't stop me from talking to them. I want to be able to provide five-star service, as what I tell people. Even if I know we're not going to be able to sign them up, my job realistically is talk to our community and help our community out. That's what we're about. So I'm not going to tell people a bunch of lies to try to win them over. I got to tell them what they have to hear. And even if we're not the right fit, but here is some resources that I can give you that could possibly give you the right fit, right? Or possibly I know personally an attorney that could specifically help you out, right? I think that's the biggest thing that we could do for everybody here.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say that to people that they shouldn't worry about whether you're going to be able to help, or whether you're going to be able to answer, whether you've heard anything like what they're going to bring to you. Just be comfortable and have the confidence in Zadeh Firm that you guys can provide some support. Whether that's, like you said, we may not be able to help you, or you may not be able to help them, but you can point them in the right direction in terms of what steps they need to take first, and then maybe possibly make a referral too.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, kind of the big message that I always get towards the end of the call is kind of the breath of relief of just thank you for hearing me out. That's what really, when people are dealing with, these types of matters, they just need to talk to somebody because they don't know where to go. And
Yeah.
so, our approach, as I said, I got to tell people what they have to hear, complete transparency. We got to just be honest with these individuals because they need a direction. They need to know whether we can help them out or anything like that. So yeah, I fully agree with you, Anthony.
Cool. And I'd like to jump back to that a little bit here in a second, because I really want to make sure that everyone watching has maybe even can hear some examples, or just kind of some of your the history that you've seen, and specialties that you focus on. But let's touch base real quick on the partnership. So you've been with Jim for a long time. He's a big soccer guy, if I'm not mistaken. He still plays to this day. I see him
Yeah.
posting on Facebook and tournaments, and man, that guy's playing. I play once a week, but I feel like that guy plays more than I do.
He just returned back from a tournament out of state, and as soon as he came back, he was called to play some other games. He loves playing just as much as I do. I unfortunately have slowed down due to some medical issues, but believe me, every time he plays, he calls me, and I relive it through him. So yeah, he is big on soccer. He is
Yeah.
big, big, big on soccer.
So the Zadeh Firm has been supporting the Vaqueros, whether it's been with the youth club or the semi-pro team, for over 10 years now. I know you said you've been working with him for 8 years, so you may not have been involved, but you knew about him from the very beginning too, and our partnership from the beginning. Do you recall some of those early days and kind of what the partnership meant for you guys working with us?
Yeah, it was the vision. It was the vision that y'all had initially, right? It was essentially there's not very many big teams here in Fort Worth. There's always the Dallas and all that, but Fort Worth kind of gets overlooked. And so when Forward Vaqueros came over and presented an opportunity for Jim to be able to participate and really help out, because that's really what we needed to do is we needed to help y'all get off the ground. And so we were super excited for that. And so every year would come around and we talk about, the future. And that was the biggest thing for us, right? The future that involved the community, having people go and have a good time at the games and enjoying Fort Worth.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad that we've actually, been able to take those steps to bring this vision to life. We've been just a semi-pro team for about 8 or 9 years now, and like you said, people coming to the games is always fun, and it's a summer season, and it gives a great opportunity for our players, who are mostly college players and or some expert pros, to get a really good opportunity, a across the nation because our league gets some really great exposure. The National Premier Soccer League gets some really great national exposure. But now we've got the academy and we've got the youth club, and so yeah, I really like that we've been able to bring that vision to fruition. But more than that, that you guys have been alongside us since day one. So we're truly appreciative of that as well.
Yeah, and we're honored. I mean, we are always looking at ways to help out our community, and in a way that it hits home for both Jim and I. I mean, it was like the perfect opportunity for us because we're all about giving back, but then yeah, we love soccer. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful game, you know, and
yeah,
so we will never forget about how great it was and the youth and everything like that, and that's what it's all about.
yeah, absolutely. Cool, cool. Well, and so tell us a little bit about Jim's background, just briefly, and then some of the background, and like you said, dive in a little bit more to some of the expertise that the firm focuses on. Yeah,
Yeah, so Jim, he graduated in 1988 at SMU, and he's been doing this since then. He started off as a partner, and then shortly after that, he realized, no, I'm going to do it myself. And so he's been running his own firm for quite a long time. And he started off doing big cases, but then he kind of tapered off, and now he's focused mainly on personal injury type cases. That's where we know that we can really help out our community, people that are injured as to no fault of their own. But aside from that, he also has essentially taken on other cases, but not so much of these. These are more of a selectable type cases where he was in helping out in regards to employment type cases, discrimination, retaliation. Again, helping out our community when they're being wronged. He also helps out small businesses in regards to contracts and things like that. He's kind of slowed down on that, but he still has his ear to the ground in regards to that, of the ability to help out individuals that are starting off or have contracts that need to be evaluated and things like that. I would say that that's something that we can do. But the majority of the cases that we do take on because of his background are the personal injury cases, and he's really developed a really strong team for this. Because at the nucleus of Jim, he is a teacher. I mean, that is what he knows and what he loves.
yeah,
And so he's an adjunct professor at Texas A&M Law School. And I believe 2 years ago, he started teaching at TCU. But Texas A&M Law School, I mean, that's really been really good for us as a law firm because he's actually brought in his students that have graduated, three to be exact. First student is Nick Peel. He was an insurance adjuster. And so the fact that we handle claims dealing with insurance, I mean, it's perfect. And he has brought in quite a bit of value from his knowledge of as an adjuster for so many years because he was an adjuster all throughout law school.
nice.
And so he's brought in quite a bit of value just with his experience. And then the other student is Elin Cabrero. So Elin, after he graduated, he started working for a very big insurance company, defending the insurance company in trial. He was essentially one of their trial attorneys, and now he works for us. Being that we are a civil litigation firm, meaning if we have to file a lawsuit, we will do just that. And that's where Elin comes into play, right? He is essentially the attorney that will prepare the case as if we have to go to trial. And then the third student, I'm so happy for him. He got his bar results last month, and so it's official. He's now an attorney. He
Awesome.
was an intern for us for many months, and now he's the third attorney that's come on board. His name is Shay Allard.
Okay.
Lawrence Allard. I like to call him Shay. I apologize,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
his name is Lawrence. But yeah, I mean, we have a very strong team that essentially Jim he picked out, and he formulated this team for us that essentially is the brains of the whole outfit here. But I'm leaving out some very important people. That is other legal assistants such as and it is Mary Jane. She is the backbone of this firm. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be able to function over here. And then the other is Amanda. Amanda, she is another legal assistant that comprised of myself, three legal assistants that would essentially be answering phones, talking to people. We're the ones in the trenches here talking to everybody. And then we have everybody as attorneys backing us up and that's how we work. That's how we operate. We're a small firm, but there's pros to that, such as I'm able to have conversations after hours if need be, right? Such as a big firm, they clock out and it's over with. You contact them whenever they're open, and that's not us.
Yeah.
So that's one of our biggest pros.
Cool. You mentioned Nick. What's what? There's a short, or there's a quick tie to the Vaqueros Youth Club and Nick, right?
Yeah. So Nick, he lives. Forget what part of town he lives, but he has a neighbor that is essentially his neighbor's kids are in this program. And
Awesome.
so I don't want to butcher the name and get
Yeah,
the name
we love
wrong. So
doing the
I'm not
name.
even going to start. But I'm
That's
sure
cool.
when we get the opportunity to talk to Nick, he'll be able to expand on that. But yeah, he does have a personal tie to this. And again, it hits home for him as well.
Cool. Awesome. And then just lastly, I know you kind of already talked a little bit about this, but I want to make sure that whoever's watching, especially the parents, they understand this. So don't hesitate to reach out to you guys, and we'll give all that information here in a second. But how do you feel the Zadeh Firm can help the parents of the youth club or the academy?
Yeah. Well, from a firm perspective, right? This is something that I had to learn because this happens a lot in dealing with insurance companies. There's so much confusion because the people that are selling these policies, they often will use trigger words to get you to buy.
Yeah.
And that one word that I absolutely hate is called full coverage. Everybody wants to believe they have full coverage because they are told that they have full coverage. But realistically, in order for you to have full coverage, you would have to have purchased everything that insurance company sells. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. So realistically, I know right off the bat, what we can do is we can help you to understand the type of coverage you have. And then more importantly, uh, let you know the type of insurance that we would encourage for you to have, because in our line of work, we've seen it all. So being heavily insured is highly beneficial because we have to worry about number one, because in our line of work, there's so many drivers out here driving around irresponsible or with the bare minimum coverage, right?
Yeah.
And so I do not mind, and we encourage it. Call us. We can definitely have these conversations. But even if you got something going on and you just don't know where to start, and you think you need to get legal advice, call us. We'll discuss it. And if I can't help you out, I'll be straight up and honest with you and let you know, yeah, this is definitely not up our alley. But here's some resources. We can definitely do that. And from the academy perspective, I mean, I think the only thing that we can help out on this is continue to support y'all and continue to answer questions and see how else we can, be of service to every single one of y'all's families. But I mean, we do have some soccer background. I played a little bit of semi-pro. Jim is still playing, so we can definitely have those conversations in regards to playing, as well as Jim as a coach, and still as a player. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we can definitely have good conversations.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. Lastly, and we'll give the parents all your information, but quickly, how can they find you on the website? And then you're located in downtown Fort Worth.
We are located in downtown Fort Worth. We're more welcome to have y'all come into the office. We love our office. It's a historical house that got converted into our office. We love it, and we love showing it off. So you all are more than welcome to come. We are located at 1555 Rio Grande Avenue. And if you're familiar with that area, there is a small park that's right in front of us. It's called Herald Park.
Yep.
And if you want to find us online, you can always go to our website, which is zadehfirm.com. And if you don't know how to spell that, the easiest way to find us is thelawz.com, and it will redirect you to the Zadeh Firm website.
Awesome. Well, I will provide all of that as well. But Rene, thank you very much for your time. I enjoyed listening, talking with you and listening more about the Zadeh Firm. I appreciate y'all's support. And we're going to continue these. We're going to set up a time to talk with Jim as well, and maybe the other team as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And I think also another thing that I'd like to know, and I think us as a firm would like to know, is how else we can help y'all out.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, if you need, 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 you know, if you need backpack giveaways. I don't know. Um, we're open to suggestions and really open to try to help y'all out and help out our community as much as possible.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you again, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.